Han.
So what kind of an organization does everybody work for? That might be kind of interesting to know. Okay. Nisa, it looks like this is the group for the social media newbies. I've only been working in my coalition's social media for a couple months now. I do, it looks like similar to Pamela, a youth coalition for substance and mental health. So I think Pamela and I are very similar.
Yes, Kelly, I think so also.
Oh, that's interesting. And what kind of social media I would personally be interested in knowing, does everybody utilize the most? Like for me, I only do Facebook, and that is only because that's the only one that I am familiar with personally. What is everybody else? I got Instagram, Facebook. Oh, YouTube. I was just reading about that and I was interested. And then also, and anybody else feel free to jump right in. I've been in a talkative mood today. What does everybody find most successful or most worth their time and have get the most response from?
For me, I just started working with the Facebook Meta Suite, and I hadn't done that before, but it's really nice that I can schedule things and I can put them so that they'll go on Instagram and on Facebook. So that's been helpful. That's something kind of new for me. I had always done one or the other, Instagram or Facebook. Working together with them makes it a little easier.
Yeah. Oh, Instagram Reels. You find most engagement. That's interesting. And memes on Insta. I'm sorry, go.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I just have a quick question, and maybe you guys might be able to give some advice. Our organization supports burn survivors. So a lot of the times, like I think someone in the comments said that reels were very helpful for them. I think I am at a loss because we're trying to figure out what would be a fun reel for that. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have very sensitive missions. So this might be a little bit off subject, but does anybody have any content ideas for something that's so sensitive like that. You know, a burn survivor that's maybe just been burned in a fire, or they've just been in an electrical fire. You know, it's just not as fun and fluffy as you could make like maybe a pet adoption organization. So hopefully you guys understand what I mean. I would love some feedback if someone has any ideas.
We are a gun violence. I'm Heidi Johnson. I'm with WAVE. We are located in Wisconsin, and we are a gun violence prevention organization. And so we kind of have the same situation, especially because when you do tell survivor stories, I'm sure this is the same for you, you have to be incredibly sensitive, and those aren't fun.
Absolutely.
So I've done a couple of things lately. I've gotten really obsessed with just taking 10 million photos at every event we go to. And then I've been using Instagram Reels templates to just put a whole bunch of those static photos into. And I'll try to put in the chat here in a little bit some of the accounts that I use to get those templates from. And then the other thing is I use a lot of just like Wiki Commons photos of protests or other organizations events, but it's Wiki Commons, so it's open source. And I do the same kind of thing in there because it's, you know, a bunch of people. Like, I like to pull photos from protests because it's a bunch of really powerful people being active, making a difference, facilitating change.
Okay. So let me make sure I understood you correctly too, Heidi. So you said that you just maybe grab different photos from different events or something that you guys may do, and you'll attach a quote and put that in your reel. You'll just use that quote.
I don't use the quotes. We do on Facebook a lot, and we do quotes on Instagram, but for the reels, I don't use quotes. I just leave it as the music in the background, and then I just plug my pictures into the template.
Oh, okay. So you're just having pictures and some music. Okay. That's helpful. And I had never heard about Wiki Commons.
I've done both with the reels. I sometimes will put a little quote or something, usually short, nothing that, you know, they have to do a lot of reading, just sometimes a little heading. But the reels are great. I just started using those this summer. This is my first, just starting my second year with the coalition. I've been 1 full year now. But this summer I learned how to do reels, and they're great. They're great.
Okay. One of the clients that we've worked with is the Arizona Burn Foundation, Andrea.
Okay.
And so I'm just kind of combing through. I'm going to put their main website, and you can see that they link to Twitter and Facebook in the corner. And what they're doing, what's interesting, is also spotlighting the support services and the people who make up the support services. So if there's a sensitivity in using people who've been affected directly by the organization, then they're also focusing on the larger community that's helping provide that support. So they're showing people like firefighters as an example. It looks like they work with a fair amount. So I think it's always important that, one, from an ethical standpoint, you work alongside your community, regardless of what your mission is, to make sure that they understand where imagery might be used. So having kind of a dedicated policy on media usage is always a good start, because then that'll help inform what am I even allowed to do when it comes to any media, my website, reels, etc. And then if they're like, yeah, you know, this is a story that I want to tell, especially if they've been personally affected by it, then that kind of helps guide it. But ultimately, the reasons that people are going to support an organization and be activated in something like social media is where we move the donor or the potential donor from the awareness stage toward the action stage. And the best way to do that is that they can personally identify with the mission. It's not that they were asked or that it came across it. It's not even that somebody liked it in their network. It's that they see it and they go, this is good. This is me.
Okay.
And so stepping back and asking yourself, who are the types of people in our community and why would they get activated? Asking kind of that core people-centric why helps go, this is the types of stories that we want to tell, and we'll use Reels to do that.
Okay. Thank you. That was very helpful. And I'll definitely go to that link and look at their platform.
Yeah, they do pretty good. They do pretty good. Good questions. And thanks for joining, folks. I technically will be the facilitator, so if there's a lull, I might throw a question out there, but otherwise I'm going to shut up. Just keep talking. Keep asking questions. This is your time.
I have a question. When it comes to Facebook, is there ever considered too much posting? Because I don't know who sees what and when. So is there too much? Can there be too much?
So Kelly, I've heard personally that it's really about consistency. So if you're going to post maybe 2 times a day, that you're consistent because the algorithm is impacted. So like, let's say one week you decide, oh, we're going to do 5 posts per day. But then the next week you decide, oh, we don't have time. We'll just do 1 post a week. It impacts your algorithm and whether people see your content. But someone else probably can speak a little bit more as to whether there is a too much category.
I'm going to put Sprout Social's a really good scheduling company, and they have some relatively updated statistics on this, even by platform, that I'm going to put in the chat. The industry average is 11 times per day, but that's not nonprofits.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Consistency absolutely is key.
Okay.
Wow, just hearing 11 times a day. Like, where are you getting all this content, these content ideas from?
You repurpose it if you saw that session yesterday.
I did see that. I mean, you are repurposing the heck out of that for 11 times per day. It just sounds overwhelming.
My face.
That's adorable. Yeah, so even my personal platforms and what I do something on TikTok on a topic in the morning, and then I am doing something at least once on LinkedIn, and a lot of times those are also going to be referencing back items that were originally written on a blog. So just kind of, again, repurposing is how you can chunk it up, because if you have, like, I don't know, Andrea, let's take yours, like top ways to treat something, right?
Sure.
Like top 5 ways. Top 5 means 5 posts.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. You can break it up into one tip, 1 post, and just keep on. Okay. Yeah. Now, where are you getting your content ideas? I mean, I know some things, they come fairly easy, but
yeah.
After a while, you've been operating for a while. I mean, are you just repurposing over and over, or are you kind of going to some creative measures?
You go to your community. This is why it's important to have that feedback loop with the donors, as well as the people that you serve, the volunteers, your board, stuff like that. Because a lot of times the best content is going to be driven by that core why. And so even things like interviews.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you're having tech issues, then just I would try kind of doing a refresh on the page. There's also a mic check capability within the platform, by the way. But if you can't hear me, then that you might not have heard that. So yeah, a lot of times it comes down to listening to the community and charting out a calendar. Hopefully, Pamela, that helped, because I hear you. But charting out a calendar, and you drive that from kind of a larger narrative of the story that you're trying to tell over the year. Sometimes it's even helpful to map that out on a monthly basis. What are we talking about this month? Like for your work, is there a specific thematic month that, in the summer, we talk about brush fires or something like that, right? Like
Okay.
it's kind of a balance of entertainment and education, edutainment when you do this type of stuff, right? You want to make it that it's helpful to people who are digesting the information, and a lot of times you're going to get that feedback by talking to folks. Even a few like discussions or surveys that have nothing to do with social media, you'll be surprised to hear what people actually care about, but then you start to craft your plan about that because you're not designing for you, you're designing for the audience.
Okay. Good points.
Like, I'll give a concrete example. Yesterday in Dana Snyder's talk on Facebook ads, somebody put something about like, Facebook groups though. What do I do there? Guess what? It's like a whole thing of content that Dana can do now. Just that one comment where somebody's like, yeah, but I'm struggling with this thing. It's like, but did boom, boom, boom. There we go.
Okay. Makes sense.
Cool. Let's see what else we got. I'm checking the chat. Yeah, what about other folks? Where do you find your content inspiration?
What you doing, Daisy girl?
For me, I usually find it with our youth when I'm working with the youth. They sort of drive our content and they drive what we do. So it also drives what we're posting about, along with our things that we do regularly each year and our two big fundraisers, which is our prevention summit and our gala. So we sort of have a few things that are just typical that are on the schedule that we know we do every year. And then there's all the other things that the youth are bringing to us as issues that are relate to them in the moment.
Love that. And actually, very similarly, Vivian wrote, I work at a nonprofit that attends youth 6 to 18. I've been trying to convince the administration that we have to give youth the permission to make TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Live of what we do in the center so people will see our job and what they enjoy. Yeah. I think that goes back to it. But what do you do if all your services are community-based and you don't have much access to the clients for the pictures, videos, and stories? Well, I want to hear what other folks may have engaged that first before I start kind of diving in. But yeah.
So Tim, I deal with that quite a bit because
let's hear from you. Yeah.
So again, our organization supports burn survivors. So a lot of the times we help the inpatients that are in the unit. So we will talk with the nursing staff, try to get their stories. If we can get a patient, then we will. And then another thing that we try to do is even the patients that we are not helping, we might just do a general broadcast to burn survivors. We're a part of some Facebook groups with burn survivors. So we might, hey, we're highlighting burn survivors. If you'd be willing to share your story, we'd love to highlight you. We call it our sunshine of the day. To shed resilience and light on burn survivors and what they go through. So a lot of people it might not be a direct person or burn survivor that we supported, but we had those stories that we collected from others that were burn survivors. So that was kind of a way that we kind of got around that. So we have those stories. We talk with the nurses, trying some firefighter highlights, etc.
Love that. Okay. We got Heidi weighing in. That's why we take pictures of ourselves, us at events, us as our work, our workspaces, our pets. It helps us be a little bit more human and build connections. We post a lot on news that comes out around our cause and educate people. And then also allowing for the kids, for the youth, the teens, where content approval before it's actually posted. Not a bad idea. Put it in this folder, please. Then we will post it. I like that. I think it's important to always balance, because because your audience is there for the impact, right? Like we just heard Lisa May talk about that. So you always have to balance not putting too much of yourselves in it, right? They want to know who's doing the work, but especially donors are going to be activated by things around the services, the impact, things of that nature.
One thing we did that was really great this past summer is we took 3 of our youth action students from our high school that had been in youth action for a long time, and we made them interns. We actually gave them paid positions, and they ran a summer fun series, and we also put them in charge of certain things on our Facebook and Instagram accounts. So like when we did the fair, we did the summer fun series, they would be in charge of the pictures and the posts, and it worked really well. But as you said, that we had a couple of students we'd worked with long enough that we could be assured that the content that would be going up would be appropriate and would be what we wanted.
Absolutely. Okay. What do other people do? Because that's always hard, right? I liked, Megan wrote, I like to go to LinkedIn and find ideas, and I like to write stories about people, teens, kids, and things that people relate to. Then I take candids. It's another good one. What else? At the end of the summer programs, we made videos of the kids giving thanks to our investor from the donation to make possible the summer programs. Yeah, video's getting really big. So I think you're seeing things like Instagram Reels. What other questions do people have? I like the basics that we've already covered here, but what other things are people wondering about? And if you're watching and you want to join, it's as simple as hitting that button. We can have up to 50 people here. Like Jennifer, hey, there we go.
I have a question. So I'm working with my local small community, and we have people that are signed in under a group. Our group has now been spammed, so we get lots of duct cleaning and other kinds of things. So I've created for the Historical Society a true Facebook page for a business, and I'm trying to get people to come from the group to the business page. I've posted every 2 days for like 10 days a new thing with a link that says, hey, keep hearing about our Halloween events. Click this link. Come join us. We're moving over, those kinds of things. And after 10 days, I have 300 people in the group. And after 10 days in my page, I have 7 people. That makes me think people aren't even seeing this on their feed. So how would you suggest I get people from a group to a page?
Well, 300 people, especially if you can go into the group, there's a good chance that you could probably copy and paste an individual message. You use the chat messenger and just kind of work them in batches and individually outreach to them. Because what's happening is that when you're trying to get the group feed or the page feed up, you're up against everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing one-to-one outreach and 300 folks, copy paste, you could probably slam through that pretty quickly.
But am I doing it from the business account, the nonprofits account, or because I've only found that it would come through my account as me inviting them?
I think new updates, and I'd have to go check on this, but I know for our business account, we can act as us. So because of the configuration of the business page, you could message as the Historical Foundation. Yeah, so then you're not mucking up your own personal stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And just be like,
and I don't want, they're not going to know me. They're
not
going to
know you,
the...
but you should be able to, because I know that we do this in Facebook at the very least, they've now aggregated Facebook and Instagram under one business page account. And then I can reply or even message people back and forth
Okay.
as the business page, because that would be a personal nightmare.
Okay. So message them as the business. Then
Yeah, just
my
invite
second
'em in.
question. Okay. Then and when I send them that message, would I just send the link so then they can just click like I was hoping they would do before? Yeah. Okay.
You lead with the value and say, look, you want to stay on top of things, then go here. And then if you have an email list, you hit them there. You don't just work it on the social channel. You go, look, you know, you can even do a funny thing. We've moved, you know,
Yeah.
like play into the historical thing. That page is history, right?
Right.
Like,
Okay.
you know, have fun with that. But
Yeah.
I want other people to weigh in too. What are other people? I know, Vivian, you popped in too. You've been active in the chat. So if you want to unmute, go for it.
No, it's okay. I just I was regarding I having the connection. Everything is wonderful. I'm from Puerto Rico, so
Cool.
it's super nice. The thing that I was writing is how I convince people that this social media right now, people are looking more for leader videos that you see on TikTok, Facebook, and everything. But you have the regulation from your company, from communication and everything, and they don't want to do it because they want to stay in what have been doing every year. So they are, I don't know, is afraid to get engaged with the youth and get permission to move to a new social media that we have been upgraded since the COVID, because we don't use it as we have to use it right now since COVID, because everything moved to be presential, to be on online.
Yeah.
And how the social media is so impacted that everybody is looking here, especially the youth, and they don't want to communicate like in the same ads like for generation.
Yep.
Sorry, most of us use, some ages use Facebook, some others use Twitter, but they are more like Instagram, they are more like TikTok, they are more like Snapchat, and you have to move your mind and change it to there so we can get to them and get to the people that are donating to us.
Yep.
How I convince these people that they are trying to be old fashioned, that we have to move to the new fashion, that they are the ones that are that are moving.
So I think, and this even applies to Jennifer's item, or actually anything that anybody's been talking about, but I'll use Vivian as kind of the focus, is where do you put your effort? And how do you convince and get other people to buy in on that effort? And so at Neon One, I work as director of corporate brand. And so in marketing, I have to put together plans that say, we are going to invest in this, right? Like TikTok. If I wanted to get my team to do something with TikTok, I need to build a business case for it. And so, one, I'm not bothering with TikTok for that because my audience is not there. But Vivian, if you know your audience is going to be in a different space, then a very simple pitch deck, you can design it in PowerPoint, Google Slides, Canva, and you basically go like, why we need to be here. And you talk about audience numbers, you talk about your plan, and you talk
Maybe
about
like a demo, and make a survey and to prove them that this is what you show, and I tried this, and see the percents, that difference. So you have some captive people here, but really what we need is this, and this is my proof.
The way that we do it, but yes, you're on the right track. Absolutely. And so there's 5 stages that we do whenever we're planning a new channel. and we tie it and we say marketing, and in this case, it would be donations. This is how we're going to see from here to here. Stage one is kind of the ideas one, to be like, we're going to start here. We think this is a hypothesis, just like in science. Here's our hypothesis. We're going to move to TikTok. We're going to move to Instagram Reels. And then stage two is you have positive signals of that. Aim for 10. I got 10 examples that I can show of these people talking about our cause or talking about something similar to our cause. Okay, and Alyssa, I see your chat. I'm going to look at that in just a moment. But aim for 10 that you can attribute to either your work or the type of work that you do if you haven't started posting there. Go, see this, we're on Instagram. And Vivian, what's your mission in Puerto Rico? What do you do?
Okay, I work with Boys and Girls Club of Puerto Rico.
Okay, great. You know what? I'm going to do it on TikTok right now. Let's just see what happens. Okay. I'm going to even search Boys and Girls Club.
You won't fight it.
But you're going to see the way that TikTok works, for instance, is that it does social search. So it's going to look and prioritize on all the people who are looking at the search term that you put in. So I see people using the hashtag Boys and Girls Club. And then you can start, and I even see individual Boys and Girls Club accounts, which is great because you can point to people and say, we'd like to do this. This is what they've done in their community. Like you can have one thing that shows an example as right. But all you need to do is show, you could filter maybe by location in Puerto Rico. And you can go, they might not be saying Boys and Girls Club, but here are the things that we do where they're talking about this. Like if you have like a basketball program or something like that for after school, it's like, hey, look at all these kids who are like showing their games and where they are, and they're actually near the location that we are. Like that's how you could start to do that. And once you have those 10, you can go, see, if I can build this audience, I feel that it is going to lead to similar results in money over here. You match the effort into what you project this will actually drive for donations for your organization. You create a narrative of awareness will lead to revenue. And that's a thing that you could do for any channel. Like for Jennifer knows where her audience is, and she knows that if people start knowing about her event for the Halloween thing that they were doing, for instance, I got 7. Once I get 10, I know that we're starting to get movement there. We have a bucket of 300 people. If we knock that down, I know that we can attribute X amount of those people are driving toward event signups. You can never know for sure because it's social. It's social media. In marketing, whenever somebody like chat right here, like let's say I answer Alyssa, which I plan on answering you, Alyssa, what type of consultant can help with this? And I name a consultant. Social media is not going to pick that up. We're in a gated event, but people talk. And so you have to anticipate how they're going to talk socially with each other. It's going to be in chat messages. You're going to have your old aunts who are forwarding email chains going, did you see this event? You're never going to know, but if you set yourself up to at least go, I'm going to work through stage 1, idea. Stage 2, I have a feeling that this is working. Stage 3 is this is working. We need to start having a conversation about putting more money toward this. I feel like if we invest in this, it will lead to the following outcomes. And then stage 5, Vivian, is full integration. You've won. You've gotten everybody bought in, but you have to work through basically five stages to do that. And each one has their own number that you attribute to it. But by stage 3, it's money. Stage 1 and 2, it's not money. It's like things are happening here, and I want to start to make money off of this from donations. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. Gracias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, we're all figuring this out, right? I want to make sure I look at Alyssa's stuff. But Jennifer, same thing. I feel like I got to come up with the deck for everybody to use. That's maybe content, Andrea. I got content ideas now.
Thank you.
See, you're seeing it live. You're seeing it happen live.
Absolutely.
Okay, we don't seem to have the IT expertise to properly set up cookies with the GDPR requirements, as well as updating our privacy policy to include ad tracking via Facebook, Google, whatever. Woof. Okay, Alyssa, that's a lot. I'm actually gonna point you to our sponsor, Community Boost. Go to the expo and hit more information, and Candace on the team. I think she'll at least be somebody that is a good start there for digital stuff like this. They're really good. So I'm going to suggest them. Some of the cookie stuff and things like that, especially if it's like a website situation, your provider in theory should be helping with this. But if you're on your own, like it's a WordPress thing and that developer has long gone, a firm like Community Boost is perfect for this. That's why we partnered with them for the event. Sure. And then when you hit the button, they'll know it's from the conference because we've built in the intent for positive stuff. Jennifer, you got a question there.
So in our Facebook page, we're going to have this Halloween event on Saturday night. And we have been making our own in Canva little squares telling about the event and such like that. What is the difference between making a post and saying, hey, we're having this event versus really creating an event? And which one is better for us to get more people?
So the event is obviously in real life.
Yes.
How are you registering intent that people are showing up? Are they going to a separate site to sign up, or can they sign up through like Eventbrite's native Facebook?
They're just
thing?
coming. We're not, to be honest, we're not. There's no tickets or anything. They're just coming. I want them to know about it.
Then it's probably. See, now I gotta. It's such a moving target with Facebook to be like, do events perform better than posts? And I lean more toward it's probably a lot less mental energy as well as for your audience. Does it hurt to do both? Again, it might depend on Jennifer's effort of where she wants to put things. I lean toward posts because it's going to natively display in their thing. We've seen success on events that you then go ahead and invite people to. And the only reason I'm going to lean toward posts for you especially is the original problem that you cited, which is that you got a group, you got a page, somebody might not know where it's coming from. So if you do post, once you know your audience and you have that solid foundation of like the page is here, then it's probably going to be good for you to at least test out an event like what Alyssa's saying, to do both. But because you're kind of iffy on where people might even be seeing things, the easiest thing to focus on is just as many posts about it as possible. And especially because you're not collecting RSVPs, make sure you do emails to the list too.
Okay. And so when you say an event, is like, how do I know if I've been seeing an event? Like, I don't even know where I would go on my own Facebook page to tell if I saw an event. Is it going to appear in my normal feed?
Let me, this is where it's like, I wish Leslie was here so I can grab her from Meta, because we have a relationship with Meta, and I know that the nonprofit manager is going to help actually be the best resource to get these answers. So let me go find that from them. Yeah, okay. Because this just tries to centralize all the things that they have. So I'm going to put their social impact tools Get your organization. Hey, get your organization on board. Meta even created Vivian a whole thing. If you want to get people on Reels, they have a whole plan there. So I'm going to put the tools and solutions, Jennifer, in the chat here directly
Okay.
from Meta.
Great.
Pamela likes posts.
Okay.
I think both is best, says Kelly. I think the created event is going to reach more people because they show up for suggestions. That's a good point. But again, my only concern with Jennifer specifically is if people aren't following the right thing at this point, where does she put it? And God forbid that I tell you to go do 3 different things.
So in your magic book of stuff, the new back end that I'm now on, because I created this business page,
Yeah.
where's a good spot for me to go and learn what it is I'm looking at, what am I supposed to do to create a post and such? Because I have myself in the corner and then I can switch it. And on the left side, I have switching. I actually have access to 2 business accounts. And what I see on the right where my face is, I can switch that one. And on the left, they're never the same. Like I can't see access to everything at every time. So where's a good spot to go learn about the back end of this?
Get started. That link.
Okay.
Because it's going to be Meta themselves. Because I don't work for them. And
Uh-huh.
I'm even forwarding off stuff to be like, what the hell is going on here? So that I would say that they've been really pushing this for the nonprofit manager in particular, because they know it's so confusing.
Okay.
And I'm going to remember this group, folks, because we actually, as part of our relationship with Meta, they sometimes ask us for small nonprofit participants to go and like talk to them and their product team. So if anybody's interested in that, like raise a hand, put an emoji in there. There you go, Jennifer. I already zeroed in on you. I'm going to absolutely remember that. But okay, Vivian, very cool. Yeah, they tend to ask us for just like 5 people, 6 people. So yeah, just like I'll put my email in here too. Just to be like, I want to talk to Facebook if you ever get a chance. And so part of our partnership has included those small group things.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh God, I'd so much rather have you yell at them directly. Like it's actually very satisfying to watch those meetings.
And my ability to search for things and then even that somebody else has made and then figure out the news and the old when they switched over the pages this year, I'm still not. It never seems to be consistent. So I would love that.
Yeah, I can only promise that I can ask them. But I would say for even Alyssa getting on the nonprofit manager and things like that, that get started link is at least a very good place to start to kind of navigate the changes that they've been rolling out. It's all very confusing. Look, I'm going to be blunt, folks. I quit Facebook, actually. I'm only on there for work. So once I thought I was out, they pulled me right back in. I had to get on there to help us with stuff. But yeah, I've been testing out TikTok, but I tried a business account for TikTok and was like, I don't want this. So
And for me, I'm learning a new software. I sign up for those accounts and it is perfect. They are great things. Yeah. Are any of you a part of the Facebook group, Your Thriving Nonprofit?
Yes, I love it.
That's been a great one for me that I have learned so much from. And if you're not, I highly suggest it. And you can turn off the stuff so that you have to physically go there and then, you can search for your question kind of stuff. But people reply. Last week, a lady replied. She was 2 hours north of Ontario, so about 10 hours from my house. And she and I Zoomed last week for an hour to help with a software solution. And people are just so generous. So I recommend checking in with that group.
That's a good group. Yeah. And we actually, Julia helps manage communities too. And we have our own connected fundraising community where people are starting to talk as well. Megan, I'm not going to answer that because I'm just going to send it to Abby herself. She's the gal in question, and I work with her. So I'm just going to go ping her right now about your question. What group is that? Thriving Nonprofit. I'm actually going to try to find the URL. But let me get this over to Abby. What else? This is good. Let's keep it going, folks.
So, Tim, I'll piggyback on Jennifer's question, and anybody can say what they think. I was wondering what you thought as far as aesthetics for social media. Like, I know a lot of us are using Canva. It's been a great resource, but I know sometimes that can be, I mean, if everybody's kind of got the same look and stuff, kind of starts to look like Canva. So do you kind of subscribe to the belief that your graphics should be like up to par, or you really need to have a designer doing these graphics, or do you think Canva is just fine? So do you think it really matters that much as long as the content is good?
So it comes. So we have a saying, and gendered element about this aside. Content is king, but distribution's a kingmaker, right?
Okay.
And so the visual elements are important, but it's also the what you're putting out there and how you're putting out there. And so I do believe that the visual elements are important, and it's hard to answer that one without kind of knowing the specifics, because I hate saying go do this without knowing like most of us are in the nonprofit world, just like Lisa May was talking about, are trying to do 100 things and we only have time for 10. And so what's nice to work toward is prioritizing proprietary visual elements beyond your logo. Brand, and I'm director of corporate brand. Everybody, when they hear brand, a lot of times people think that's our logo. It's not. That's a visual mark of your brand. Your brand is the feeling that people have when they see the logo, when they hear your name. And so when you're executing your brand on something like Canva, which if you saw the graphics for the social media summit, okay, let's look at the logo. If you even stare at the corner, if you go to the reception area, that logo was proprietary. We asked a favor of one of our partners, Barlele, make a brand new logo for us that is special to Julia. And we had a whole conversation about the colors and things like that. And so when it came to the individual items in Canva for designing social speaker graphics for this event, what we tried to do was you take the templates that you might find in Canva and you start to add spins on it that are yours alone.
Okay.
You can add brand colors. They have a brand folder that you could start to add in Canva. So you could choose default colors for your brand, logos, and images. So for somebody like you, Andrea, what might be interesting, or for some of the youth organizations, are there ways that you could start to slowly inject your personality into the visuals? And that can come in two different ways. Photos. So stopping relying on things like Unsplash. Everybody and their mother uses that happy redhead staring at a computer in the technology space, to the point where I had to be like, we used the redhead before. So in December, or the happy black woman, right? Like everybody's got those. So obtaining proprietary stock imagery specific to your organization is a good investment of time. It's a good thing that a volunteer might be able to help with and say, look, we're looking for the following visuals. Can you help us out here? Or you spend a little bit on something like, those networks where you can kind of hire a contractor for a day for $100, right? And so stock imagery that is yours goes a long way, because it says, oh, this is this organization, and no one else is going to have that. And so when people were talking about, like, we take photos at our events and things like that, yes, but how can you even have a few images that you can fold into something like Canva that we have, our event, and this is a good stock image that represents our event versus a program thing versus an educational item. You get like maybe 10 unique things to you. That's a really good library to build. I'm actually even flying to Chicago to do that with some video and some stuff. So when you go to our website next year, you're not going to see that redhead all the time. But then you can do this with graphics too, especially for youth programs and things like that. Can kids like draw something? Like can they sketch something? Can they do something that like is special? Can they like trace your logo? Can you trace the imagery from that type of stuff? And that's just youth that I'm thinking of. But historical organizations, I'm a big history nerd, Jennifer. There's a lot of interesting things that you can go about it from a visual standpoint that you can partner with a comic book artist or something like that to make your own proprietary graphics that will be reused. So again, the tactical element here, and I'm going to shut up because I'm talking too much, but I'm really passionate about this, it turns out. I think it's best to work toward a few key things that are yours alone.
Okay.
Yeah, Fiverr. That's the one. Thank you, Nissa. Sorry, Andrea. Yeah.
No, I was saying that was good stuff. You were saying you were talking too much, but I'm jotting down all these notes. That was very good information.
Now, here's the thing. Nissa said, and apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. Canva's just fine. Look, if you're starting from nothing, Canva's awesome. Please use Canva versus nothing. That's the thing. There's a lot of, and also like Giving Tuesday, for instance, for those types of things, they just release their templates that you can then customize, right? So you can, look, it's okay to steal some stuff. And what I mean by that is if you like the idea of what somebody's doing, then you can borrow the idea. Just, attribute where properly when it's actually, don't actually steal, please. This is being recorded, so hopefully we're not going to get that. I want to look at the chat because we got about 5 minutes before I have to go make sure that our next session's ready. Megan, how does everyone start their day, week? Do you look at media, read the paper? That's an interesting question. I do a TikTok while I'm on a treadmill. Okay. Yeah, Canva. The visual stuff is a really good question. Thank you, Andrea. I love that one. Yeah. Can we talk about LinkedIn? Sure. What do you want to know? What do we want to talk about? And do we have any other people that want to share?
Do any of you pay for posts?
I haven't thus far.
So I'm going to link. I wish I can put files in here. I literally LinkedIn. So Classy just put out a report on LinkedIn, like literally, that I just downloaded and started. I love LinkedIn. That's the thing. So, and I think the benefits to LinkedIn, by the way, are for board recruitment and volunteer recruitment. Is it like Facebook for professionals? Yes. And actually, you get so much more information. Here, let me show you something. I'm actually going to share my screen on LinkedIn because I'm a huge LinkedIn nerd. Like LinkedIn is my jam. I love LinkedIn. So we're going to do a little bit of a crash course on LinkedIn. So when you're searching, can folks see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. So when you're searching for something like volunteering or stuff like that, I want you to look at the filters up here. So you can actually filter by, like, let's say that there's a specific company that does a lot of matching gifts, right? Like I used to work with a guy who worked at American Express, right? So this is where you're going to get so many deep filters that you don't get with other platforms, especially for the business side. So there are elements that you can also search for when it comes to volunteering. I got to go find that, but I know that like even the basics here, you can quickly see all the people that are, in this case, it's doing posts. You can do people, right? You see all these people who actually work for a specific company. So if you work with, in your local community, you know, somebody with American Airlines or American Express or stuff like that, you can start to actually find all the people that do that. Notice, even volunteers in the past, that's even starting to come up. Look, volunteering, volunteer. And all I did was put up here and then filter by the company. And you can add other filters, connections, things like that. School, industry, proficient, open to. There we go. This is it. Look at this. Did you know this? Did you know that this is a standard filter in LinkedIn? And that's under the People tab. So now I've added 35 people who work at American Express that are open to volunteering and are open to serving on a nonprofit board. Notice third connections for me, right? I don't know these people. So that's why I think it's extraordinarily awesome. Tutorial on LinkedIn for Dummies. I wonder where I'm going to get my next content piece.
Could
Jennifer,
I have found
sorry.
a spot in there with, instead of American Express, that said location?
Yeah.
So I could like put my Cincinnati, Ohio in there?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you can filter by interests, industry, stuff like that.
So do I want to have a business page in LinkedIn?
You can. LinkedIn really thrives and works best on individual to individual connections, by the way. So just as, you know, again, maybe I got to go back and do something here more formally, but business pages are fine for nonprofits. It helps establish a presence because you're allowed to upload even files there. So you could put something like your annual report and somebody can see that, right? And so think of it like a little bit of a billboard. Your too long didn't read items there, like at the Historical Society, here's a photo from our last event. Here's our last annual report. And here's an awesome blog that we wrote, right? But then you as a personal person, you could definitely start to build your own network there for volunteers and board members.
Okay.
I love LinkedIn.
That's great.
Awesome. Okay, folks, I'm going to go make sure we're good for the next session. I hope this was helpful. Keep talking, though. This doesn't kick you out. This actually stays open for a bit, but flash sessions are coming up. Thank you for joining us. Here, I'm going to post my LinkedIn. I'm going to do that if you want to connect with me, and you can follow me. How about that? Awesome. Thanks again, folks.
Hey, we can still talk? Okay.
Yeah.
If Alyssa is still on, I was just replying to your message that you set up a brand kit in Canva so your logos, colors, and your fonts are easy to input. And I have done that for my organization, but what I was asking is there's something in Canva, it will allow you a whole brand template. Like you can do all these different templates. Like instead of you doing all Instagram posts or all Facebook, it'll be inspired by one post and it'll make you all of these different types of templates according to what you put in. I'm not sure. Well, I don't think she's even on the phone anymore. I don't think her name is on here.
Well, keep going because I want to hear. Where would you, instead of the brand kit, what are you calling this?
I think it's like a brand package, and it's like a whole list of templates, and it will be, like I said, it'll be inspired off of one image, but off of that one image, it will automatically create for you the Instagram post, the Facebook post. And I did it one time and I totally forgot how, and now I can't go back and do it again. So I was trying to figure out if anyone has done it. So I guess I'm kind of hanging there alone. So, oh, and I'm so sorry for all these notifications, but yeah, I didn't know if anybody else had did it. Let's see. This is, oh, she might be somewhere here. It says that happened when I created the brand kit, but I never used the set. Okay. So, yeah, so she's saying that it did happen at one point when she created her brand kit, but she didn't click the set. So maybe I need to go back and redo my brand kit. Let's see, look in your past files, it might be there. Okay, thank you so much, Alyssa. I don't know how you're typing this and hearing if I don't see your name on this, but that's cool as long as you're still here.
Thank you both, because that's actually really neat. I really love the idea. I'm going to try it myself.
Oh, yes. And yes, Alyssa, you are a ghost. And Pamela, it's very helpful. Those brand kits that you can establish, it's really good because if you do get to the point where other people are working on your social media, you can make sure that your fonts and colors and all of that are consistent. And even if it's just you, you don't have to keep worrying about, oh, was that the right blue that I used? You can just have it set. So it's really helpful in that regard.
Yes, I love that, because when I first started a year ago, I looked at Canva and I started doing some things in Canva, but that was one of the issues, you know, because our organization, we've been there for 20 years. And so my director said, oh, no, we have to make sure we stick to this because that's our branding. That's how people know us. So I started doing everything more, you know, by hand, doing it like in Google Slides and things. So knowing this, that I could go back in, but do it with our coloring and our branding is excellent. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. That's really been helpful for us. And what I did, I finally got a volunteer. I'm not sure if any of you guys have ever used Taproot Foundation, but Taproot Foundation, you can get volunteers, skills volunteers. And once I was able to get that volunteer on board, she would put all of our social media information into a Google Drive Word document. So each post was in that Word document. And then we, of course, had everything set up in Canva for her to utilize. But the good thing about the Google Doc is even now that she's not volunteering with us, we still have all of our social media posts. So now if we need to repurpose or if we need to go back to what was posted Christmas of last year, we still have all the information she created for us.
So tell me again where you found this person.
It's called Taproot Foundation. I'll go and find the URL for you, but they're amazing. They help with a lot of things. Like you can send them a project that you want them to work on. It could be social media. It could be that you just want to contact them and we have maybe a consultation with a professional in a certain area. So you could do projects or just brief phone calls. And I found them to be very, very helpful. The young lady that was helping us with our social media, she was amazing at writing content, but she unfortunately got her another job and entered the real world. So we totally understood that. It was sad for us though, but I'll definitely put that link in the chat for you.
Andrea, is there a cost for that organization?
No, ma'am. It is absolutely free.
Even more exciting.
Yes. So they're really good. And I'm not sure if you guys have ever used volunteermatch.org, but I found some solid volunteers on there as well. And I'll put that in the chat too.
Thank you.
So if you need anything like website design, anything, they're good.
That is something we struggle with a lot, you know, living in a smaller community and trying to get volunteers and get the word out when we need volunteers. And sometimes it's skilled areas like that, that you need someone. So that's great. That's one thing they've asked me as this is coming on my second year to start working more on the volunteer management and start taking some of that over. So these will be really helpful.
Oh, absolutely. Taproot has probably been by far my favorite so far. And you can like with Taproot, you might get a lot of volunteer applications, but you can interview them. So you set up a time to actually speak with them and kind of share with them about your mission just to make sure it's a good fit. So you might have 5 volunteers volunteer for one project, and you can decide which one you want to connect with on that particular project.
Oh, I love that. I'm really happy because I signed up for this 2-day course, and yesterday I just ended up really busy with my youth action students and couldn't get on at all. And then today I jumped on and I just decided to come into this little group, and I've gotten so much information in here alone. So I'm very happy.
Oh yeah. That was the same thing. I think I'm echoing, I'm sorry. But I'm grateful for speaking with you guys today for sure.
Have any of you found a way to, so we're a village, any way to get drone pictures of our village?
Well, you could connect. One of my friends that has a nonprofit, they connected with our local film school. I'm not sure if you have one in your area, but he was able to get some film students to come out and do just that as a project. So I think he may have given them like a donation just for coming out. They didn't require
I'm totally
it.
good with that, but I can't buy the drone and fly it. So.
Oh, absolutely not. But yeah, so the film schools, they worked really well for him. And I think he maybe gave them like maybe 3 weeks notice.
Okay.
Does everyone have their information in the chat?
What does that mean?
Just your social media handle or anything. Like even if you have your organization's handle, I would be glad to follow some of you guys and keep in touch with your social media.
Yes. I'm going to give you my our Facebook page because I entered that.
Okay. Acting like the facilitator. I see you guys answering in the chat. Thank you. I'll post my organization. Are we able to just get a transcript of the chat? Does anybody know?
I don't think so. I've just been I have a blank Word doc open and copying and pasting.
Okay. And I tried to copy everybody's all at one time, and it did a little something funny when I tried to.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Let's see. I'll try again. Let's see here.
And I just took screenshots of it, to be honest.
Well, that's why I was like, well, maybe I should just try a screenshot. So,
yeah, that's probably a better, cleaner idea.
Okay. Does everyone have their website completed? I do know that there's a organization that will do a free website for you. There might be, I don't know how the hosting works, but they have students and different people. They'll nominate different nonprofits to do their websites. Okay. I think I have snipped everybody. Let's see here. Okay. Is someone taking a picture with their camera? It sounded like I heard like a camera. Okay, I think I got everybody.
Okay, so I just opened up Taylor's page. Well, it might not even be Taylor. Celebration of Life. No, Legacy of Hope. That's what I just opened up. Taylor Morgan. And you have a birthday fundraiser on there. Can you tell me how you use Facebook for fundraising?
Uh-oh, we still can't hear you, Taylor. It's on mute. We see you. And while she's trying to get off mute, Jennifer, I know Dana's there, the one that was doing the course yesterday. She has a lot of information about doing ads based around birthdays and like identifying your market. But I'll let Taylor speak just in case that's what she be saying she utilized.
So next up are flash sessions. What are flash sessions?
Oh. Where do you see flash sessions? That
I went to my agenda and it's what was the thing at 3 o'clock.
Okay. Oh, Taylor said, I know that I can send an article about how to do Facebook fundraising, but it was an option that popped up when my birthday came around. That's cool. I think Dana, when I saw her at another conference and she was sharing how you can do ads and it will allow you to segment your audience. So if it's like you're doing a fundraiser for January, you can go in and identify people whose birthdays are in January. So you can select that, and that's who that ad will be targeted towards. So she did a lot of that in great detail. If you ever follow her, you might be able to find one of her. I think I saw it on YouTube when she kind of broke it down. So it was a free thing she was doing. And shame on this system, Taylor, for not allowing you to unmute. That is terrible. So Jennifer, have the flash sessions began from what you can see?
Well, it said 3 o'clock. That's all I know.
Oh, 3 o'clock Eastern. Oh, so it's already started.
Right.
Okay, I'm on Central Time, so I'm always thrown off on the times.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay. Well, I think I'll hop off and see what the flash sessions are. And it was a pleasure speaking with everyone. Oh, thank you, Taylor. I see you put it in the chat. Okay, so you guys have a wonderful day. Nice meeting you.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you.
Yes, bye-bye.
Thank you. It was great talking with all of you.
Yes, you too.
Bye-bye.